Hello students, today we'll take up some examples of groups and abelian groups. So let's begin with the examples that we took in the earlier video, and those were, let's remember those examples. One was set of integers under ordinary addition, and one was set of real numbers under ordinary addition. So let's first prove that these are groups. Okay, so the definition of groups is very simple. Let's write down on the right hand side the three axioms of groups: associativity, 2, identity, 3, inverse. These are the three axioms of groups. So we are very well aware of set of integers and set of real numbers. We do not need much to prove here. And associativity, we know that a plus b plus c is equals to a plus b plus c for every a, b, c belonging to z. What is the identity? 0. We know that a plus 0 is equals to 0 plus a for every a belongs to z. Here, what is, when we learnt the definition of a group, we defined G and star. G is z here and star is plus. It totally, in general, we give this notation to an operation, but when we are writing specific groups, we write the exact operation. Okay, so this is the identity. What is the inverse? We know that a plus minus a is equals to minus a plus a is equals to 0. This was the identity. So we can say that minus a is the inverse of a. Okay, so is Z plus an abelian group? Yes. Because in set of integers we know that a plus b is equals to b plus a for every ab belonging to set of integers. Okay, so this is an abelian group. So yes, similarly you can prove for R under the operation ordinary addition. Okay, so let us take another example of a set with a binary operation, and we will see whether it is a group or not. Let's retain these axioms. Z under ordinary multiplication. Set of integers under ordinary multiplications. You know that 1 is the identity, because this is again a symbol of because. A into 1 is equals to 1 into A is equals to A for every A in Z. Now for first of all, we also have that the inverse of 0 does not exist, because for every A we have the inverse 1 by A. Suppose A is not equal to 0. Okay, so if A is an element in Z, its inverse is 1 by A. Does it belongs to Z? No, this does not belongs to Z. So A belongs to Z, 1 by A does not belongs to Z. Hence, the inverse of every element does not belong to the set itself, and therefore we say that it violates the third axiom as well as no, it violates the third axiom. Associativity holds, identity is there, inverse doesn't exist even for a not equal to 0, and for a equals to 0 we know that the inverse does not exist. 1 by 0 is not defined. One by 0 is not defined. So this third axiom violates, and hence this is not a group. So let's take next example, of a group. So Q plus. What is Q plus? Set of all positive rationals. Okay, so this Q plus is equals to P by Q such that Q is not equal to 0 and P by Q is greater than 0 and PQ both belong to Z. So this is the set. Okay, so any rational number is denoted by P by Q, where P and Q are integers. The additional constraints are that it has to be a positive rational, and this is again part of definition of, this is the part of the definition of a rational number. PQ belongs to Z and Q not equal to 0. This is how a positive, how a rational number is defined, and this is a positive rational. Now, is this a group under start? Is our ordinary multiplication. Okay, star is ordinary multiplication, and let's find out its identity and inverses and prove that it's associative. We know that plus and multiplication are all associative operations on any set or set of real numbers or any subset of set of real numbers. So this is associativity holds. Existence of identity. What is the rational number? We know that 1 is a rational number. Okay, 1 is a rational number, and this is also an identity. Third, inverse. We know that Q is not equal to 0, so can we define, we have a rational P by Q belonging to Q plus. Okay, so Q by P obviously, since we have the set of all positive rationals, P cannot be 0, and P and Q have to be relatively prime. Okay, when we talk of rationals, we cannot, do we write 2 by 4 as a rational? Obviously it is a representation of a rational, but we write it as 1 by 2, right? So we can cancel this with 2. So we write it as 1 by 2. Whenever we define rationals, P and Q are relatively prime. They should not have a common multiple, okay? Common divisor, sorry. P by Q belongs to Q plus. We know that it is a set of positive rationals. Positive rational means P cannot be 0. If P is not 0, we can inverse this element, okay? Since we can inverse this element, we have Q by P as inverse of any element that belongs to Q plus. So we have associativity, we have identity, we have inverse, and is the operation commutative? Yes, multiplication is always commutative on any subset of real numbers. So this is an example of an abelian group. Q plus, set of all positive rational numbers under ordinary multiplication. Next example of a group Next example of a group is a subset. 1 minus 1 iota minus iota. We know that these are so this is a subset of set of complex numbers. Okay, so you can say that G under multiplication, star is multiplication. Okay, now the identity is 1. We multiply anything by 1, we get the element itself. Inverse, we know that let's talk about associativity always holds for complex numbers also and real numbers also. And minus 1 square is 1. This implies minus 1 is inverse of itself. We have inverse of 1 is 1. 1 square is 1. Minus 1 square is 1. So inverse of minus 1 is minus 1 itself. Now we want to find out inverse of iota. We know that we need to find out some element from this group with which we can multiply and get the result as 1. Okay. So we know that let's keep in mind iota square is minus 1. Okay. And if I say to you that iota's inverse is minus iota, let's do it. Iota into minus iota, which is minus iota square, which is minus 1 into minus 1 is equals to 1. Okay, so inverse of iota is minus iota, inverse of this is this. Okay, so this is a group under multiplication, complex multiplication. Okay, and let's take an example of set of irrational numbers. Set of positive irrational numbers. Is it a group? To prove a group, we can violate any of these 3 axioms. That is more than sufficient. Okay, and set of irrational numbers. Under ordinary multiplication. So set of irrational numbers under ordinary multiplication, is that a group? No. Why? Because square root of 2 into square root of 2 is 2. Now this belongs to this set, this belongs to this set, this does not belong to this set. Okay? So 2 is not an irrational number, it's a rational number, whereas these two are irrational numbers. So both elements belonging to the group, we are applying the operation multiplication and we are not getting the result in the set itself. So hence closure property is not satisfied. Okay, so hence this is not a group. Now in our high school we have learnt operation on matrices, component wise addition, multiplication, we have learnt determinants of a matrix. So I need not repeat those operations that we have learned in high school on the set of matrices, and I assume that you are already aware of those operations and how to find the inverse of a matrix. Okay, so my next example would be a little complex but not difficult to learn. Okay, so the next example is, let's take the set of 2 by 2 matrices. Okay, A, B, C, D, such that AB, CD belongs to the set of R. Okay, and star is matrix addition. Let me just quickly give how addition is done for matrices. A1, B1, C1, D1. simply add the corresponding elements a1 plus a2, b1 plus b2, c1 plus c2 and d1 plus d2. So this is how matrix addition is done, and this is also called component wise addition. Component wise addition, okay, because we are adding the corresponding components. Okay. So although we have already learned all the matrix operations in our high school, we I will not prove here that matrix multiplication is also associative. It is not commutative. For any two matrices, AB is need not be equal to BA, but one thing for sure that holds in matrix operations, be it multiplication. This is, I am talking about matrix multiplication, but this is an example of matrix addition. So, but A plus B is B plus A, that is for sure for matrix addition. So this, if at all this is a group, this has to be in a abelian group, okay? But matrix multiplication, we'll talk about it later, because that is not commutative. However, we know that matrix multiplication is associative. And let's quickly find out the identity inverses of the elements of this group. Associativity, we can I leave up to you to prove that matrix addition is associative. Identity, 0 0 0 0, this is a 2 by 2 matrix, and this is the identity of this. Add this matrix to any matrix of this set, you will get the same element. Then the inverse, I have a matrix A B C D. What if I write minus A minus B minus C minus D? What is the result? A minus A plus minus A is 0, B plus minus B is 0, C plus minus C is 0, and D plus minus D is 0. So I get the identity element, and this is obviously commutative also. So hence this is an abelian group under matrix addition. Okay. My next example will be on matrix multiplication. Don't freak out. That is not at all a very tough example, but definitely an example to be taken. So, as I just told you that for matrix multiplication need not be commutative, okay? And actually it's not commutative, but it all depends upon whether a particular set that we are working upon, that operation matrix multiplication is commutative or not. But then matrix multiplication is obviously associative. Okay, so now my next example would be so let's find out whether it's a group or not. Associativity, axiom number 1 holds. Axiom number 2, identity. Under matrix multiplication, what should be the identity element? I need not prove that this is the identity. 2 cross 2. Multiply any matrix with this matrix, you will get the same element, okay? And the third is inverse. Now, observe that what I have written, the additional condition that I have written is very important for this set to be a group under the matrix multiplication, because if I say AD minus BC, what is AD minus BC? This is basically nothing else but determinant of, let's call it capital A. determinant of A, determinant of the matrix. Okay, determinant of 2 cross 2 matrix, we know that it should be AD minus BC, and I leave up to you to find out the inverse of this matrix by remembering your high school operations. Just find out what is the inverse of any 2 cross 2 matrix. It is very easy to find out, and for now I will write down what is and this is a shortcut to remember the inverse of a 2 cross 2 matrix, and if you remember it, it makes very easy to find out the inverses of 2 cross 2 matrices, and the inverse would be yes. So how I have just I'm giving you a technique to remember the inverse of this matrix. Replace A and D. Okay, D, A. Okay. Multiply these entries. Diagonal entries are replaced. The other entries are multiplied by -1. Okay, and divided by its determinant. So this is how we find out the inverse of a 2 cross 2 matrix. Now, as I said, this condition plays a very important role in making this set a group under matrix multiplication, because since we have found out the inverse is this, if at all this was equal to 0, the inverse would not have existed for this matrix. So if you go back, open your books, high school books, you will find out the conditions for the existence of inverse of a matrix. So this has to be non-zero, only then it will be a group. So we found out the first axiom is satisfied, second axiom identity exists, inverse exists. So this is a group under matrix multiplication. And if I say that if I remove this condition, then this is not a group. Okay? Why? Because this does not have an inverse. Simply find out any matrix whose determinant is 0 and you will not be able to find out the inverse. So this is not a group. To set of 2 cross 2 matrices, set of 2 cross 2 matrices under ordinary under matrix multiplication. That's why I said that when we are talking ordinary multiplication or ordinary addition, we talk about them on set of integers or set of real numbers. But when we talk about addition and multiplication on any set, we can define any operation and call it addition or multiplication on any set, depending upon the type of set it is. Like on matrices, we define matrix multiplication and matrix addition. So that is why we differentiate between ordinary addition and then matrix addition and any other kind of operation. So I think these are sufficient examples of groups and sets which are not groups. So please do like this video, and I really need your support and motivation to move ahead. And please do watch these videos. These videos are really helpful in clearing your concepts. I know we might learn these in our college or wherever we go, wherever we study, but then this is really helpful when you watch these videos. I think most of your doubts that are left unheard or you're hesitant to ask in a class, I think those would be cleared here. So if you have any questions related to the video, please, my email ID is available on the video itself, and please do write a mail to me mentioning the video number or mentioning the title of the video, and I'll take up that query, or you can write down that question in the comment section of the video itself. Thank you so much for watching this video.